It is decision time, everyone. Hello and welcome to the FIA European Truck Racing Championship here at Misano. We will see who will be the next European champion. Oh, the horns are already working very good. So Norbert Kisch is already in the lead, and what he needs right now is the first or second position after this first race here at the weekend at Misano. He moved significantly closer toward this title, securing his third title with 4 victories out of 8 races in Le Mans and Jarama. But Sascha Lenz regained second in the standings, but only 3 points ahead of 2017 titleist Adam Letchko. So we will have a tough competition right here at Misano. Joachim Eberts and our commentator Chas Dreiker, they're in their pole position as well. We'll have a look at the grid right now, get to talk to the top 3, and you are already here, aren't you, Chas?
Yes, I am indeed. Hello again, everybody. Chas Draycott here in the commentary box on site at Misano for this weekend. Very excited to be here, and we are all very excited to see whether this man on your screen right now, Norbert Kisch, can take the title this afternoon. As Christina pointed out there, he only needs second or first in this race, which will give him enough points to mean that nobody else in the championship could challenge him for the title from this point on. This is the final race weekend of the season, and all he needs is 14 points. So Adam Letchko, previous champion, looking to hunt him down, but he's going to be starting 7th on the grid in this one. It's not going to be the easiest of times for him. Lucas Hahn was a real revelation in qualifying. I just spoke to Lucas earlier before he got in the truck, and he was saying he was really happy to have been 4th just behind his father in the first qualifying session, and then to eventually grab 8th place overall. It was a real dream come true for him. He's certainly progressing very well indeed, showing some fantastic pace, and we're all excited to see what the future holds for young Lucas Hahn. He was a very nice guy to speak to as well, really enjoyable, very positive bloke. But right now, the final adjustments being made on Norbert Kisch Revesh Racing truck, and Christina is around the other side ready to talk to him.
Yes, final adjustments made at this truck. So you need to finish first or second. What are your plans ahead? How do you feel?
Yeah, it's we will see what will happen. You know, I think we are quite confident. Let's say. We have a lot of races still to go to make it happen, you know. But yeah, it's just the same like all weekends before that. We already have the pole position, and now we need to have a good start, a good first couple of turns to stay in front. And of course, I would like to try it with a win. But we'll see. If Sascha makes a good start, he overtakes me, then I guess I will have to try in the rest of the race to see if I can go and win. Well, we will see. It's always a little bit unknown, what will happen after the start, So yeah, we will try to do our best and see what happens.
Thank you very much. So as he mentioned earlier, he's got 4 match points as he was doing kind of reference to the tennis sports already. He seems to be very relaxed, Chas, I think, but he's also concentrated, and of course the team here, if we have a look right over here, checking, for example, air pressure on the tires. Everything should be perfect for this important race. Of course, he could finish first or second and then already be the European champion.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nerve-wracking time for Norbert Kisch right now. He may not admit it and say he's nervous, but it's one of those few moments where we've actually seen him a little bit speechless, actually. He wasn't quite sure how to sort of explain what he was feeling, but he is right on the brink of that title. There's nobody really to look at in front of him either. It's not like he's chasing anybody down for that title. He's just got to do the job at the front of the field and try and win the race. So it's it's pretty much an ultimatum, isn't it? You either finish first and second or you're not champion yet. It's as simple as that for Norbert Kisch right now. There is the man that's going to try and stop him, which is Sascha Lenz, second in the championship coming into this race meeting, 182 points, and Christina's with him now.
Yes, of course, and as our commentator said, you're trying to stop Norbert Kish, obviously, but also you've got your plans yourself. You're 3 points ahead of Adam Latschko. First race this weekend, decisive weekend. How are you up to?
Ja, Qualifying war super gut gewesen, die Superpole. Wir haben das Bestmögliche versucht, haben das Auto in die erste Reihe gestellt. Wir sind Zweiter. Ich weiß nicht, was Adam gemacht hat, dass er so weit hinten ist. Normalerweise steht er ja neben mir oder ja, um mich drumherum, aber jetzt ist er Siebter. Wir versuchen einen guten Start zu haben, das wird das Wichtigste für uns sein und dann die ersten 2 Runden überleben, gucken, wo wir rauskommen.
Danke dir. So I'm trying to give a resume for that. So first of all, he was kind of curious why Adam Latschko is positioned on 7th, P7, because they said maybe he's had a problem. Normally he's right behind me, right beside me, because they're fighting, of course, for rank 2 or rank 3. He said we are prepped, we did the best that we could, and so they are very confident ahead of this race 1.
Yeah, it was a surprise to a lot of us that Adam was not as high up the order as we usually see him. But either way, that makes Sascha Lenz's job a little bit easier in the championship. It means that he can focus solely on chasing down Norbert Kish right now. He doesn't have to watch his mirrors for Adam right behind. What he does have to watch his mirrors for, though, is Jochen Hahn, who will start 3rd on the grid, and Antonio Albertetti, both of them very experienced indeed. And they know exactly what they need to do to be right up there at the sharp end of the field. I'm intrigued to see whether we can get a win out of Antonio this season. I just spoke to the team before the race. They're actually based not too far away from me in the UK. So it'd be good to potentially see them sometime. They invited me up to the workshop, so it'd be great to catch up with the team and see what makes them tick. It's certainly one of the prettiest trucks on the grid as well, Antonio Albertetti's truck, the number 23 T-Sport Bernau machine. One of 3 MANs in the top 4 of the championship. The only one breaking that deadlock is the one driven by Adam Latschko, who Christina is with right now.
So we're here with Adam Latschko. We just talked about putting our mask off finally here in Italy. New regulations, of course. But let's talk about the very important thing, of course, the race. And first of all, the question, P7, I talked to Sascha Lenz. He said he misses you up there in front. What happened?
We don't know. On the first free practice and second free practice, we are very fast. But when it's the temperature go higher and higher, little bit, it's like with Harry Potter stick, something happened and we don't know what, and we are 7.
There must be a truck race wizard, I think. So, of course, you're just 3 points behind Sascha Lenz right now in total championship. I think it would be a fighting between you two, a straight battle. How are you prepared for this weekend?
We prepare, I think, well for this weekend, but now it's Sascha very far, and I don't know what I must do for fighting with him. But it's the racing, and maybe it's possible happened in every time something happened, maybe in first corner, second corner, and we will see what happened and how we finish.
Yes, thank you very much. She's an experienced driver, so and back to you, the wizard, Chess.
Well, funnily enough, my son is named Harry for that very reason, actually. Bless him. But Adam Latschko there, yeah, saying they don't really know. Some sort of spell comes over the circuit and suddenly the truck isn't as fast as it was before. But that's the thing. Some of these trucks are set up for certain conditions, and it really wasn't warm yesterday. As I mentioned, the sun was out, but it was very windy, so it stayed very cold in the air temperature. But today, it's very much a different story. You can also see as well some of the flags being waved at the top of the grandstands there, with a good look down on the grid where we go back to Christina.
Yes, thank you very much. And we talked to the top 3 positioned, ranked drivers, and of course we want to see right now a best of them.
So that was a look at the top 3 in the championship. 3 very, very impressive drivers that have all had their own fantastic championship. And here is the Ford F-Max, the official truck, the International Truck of the Year 2019. I had the absolute pleasure of being driven around the circuit the other night at sunset in this truck, and let me tell you, it is an absolute beast, this machine. It really does move around very, very quickly, and our drivers that drive our official truck and the pace truck, both very, very competent behind the wheel as well. But of course, this is the official truck of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. A lot of time and effort over 5 years has gone into designing and developing the Ford F-Max. Over 500 testing units, millions of kilometers and thousands of hours of testing have resulted in this amazing machine. And of course, it earns the prestigious title, as painted on the back, as International Truck of the Year 2019. And we go back down to Christina, who's right at the thick of it.
Yes, of course, and we also got the Goodyear Cup Championship going on. We've got Shane Brereton over here, and right beside him, it's Theo Calvé. They're fighting for the Goodyear Cup. So final questions. Theo, hello and welcome. You're fighting for the Goodyear Cup title with Shane Brereton. You're right beside him right now. What are your plans for this race?
Yeah, this morning the quali was very difficult. It's the first time for me here. So we will see during the race. Race is a race, you know. I will push as much as possible to win position, and we will see.
Okay, thank you very much. Get the engine started right now. So they're going to close the doors, get the truck started, and we better get off here, I think, Chaz.
Yeah, indeed, it's time to vacate. Time to get off and let the drivers do their business on the circuit. But yeah, it's very interesting to have Shane Brereton and Theo Calvé that far down the grid, to be fair. We weren't expecting to see them down there in terms of the Goodyear Cup. They're actually starting 4th and 5th in their class, only ahead of Theo Calvé's teammate Alia Kolok. But it's Lucas Hahn that is the highest placed chrome driver on the grid in the Goodyear Cup. Jamie Anderson, 2nd, which is 10th overall. Stefan Faas in 11th place. Theo Calvé down in 13th alongside Shane Brereton, and then Alia Kolok at the back in 15th. But as mentioned, I spoke to Lucas Hahn just before the race, just before he went out, and he was very, very happy about the fact that he managed to get into the Super Pole session alone, never mind get into 8th place. You know, he was still faster than Anthony Janiak and Jamie Anderson in that session. So there's a lot of potential there with Lucas Hahn. Jochen was very, very pleased as well for him. He was very proud. I spoke to Jochen literally just as they came into Parc Fermé. But there's a fantastic buzz and a great atmosphere around the circuit here at Misano. You can see all of the fans packing the rooftops there of the pit building, all ready to watch their favourite drivers do battle on the circuit. Anthony Janiak's truck standing out massively in the sunlight. Look at that thing. Very, very bright yellow machine. That's the Lion Truck Racing team. He's currently 10th in the championship on 26 points. He is tied with Jamie Anderson in the overall standings. Jamie, of course, focusing more on the Goodyear Cup, where he is 4th behind Stefan Faas, but only 6 points behind him, so he could take a top 3 in that championship fight, at least, out of this final race meeting. Our wonderful Iveco S-Way pace truck gets underway. The bio-LNG powered Iveco pace truck reduces a lot of the noise of a usual diesel engine, and of course the emissions get reduced by up to 95%. And right now I have the wonderful sight of all of these trucks making their way past me one by one, past the commentary box. I'm just on the right hand side of your shot in one of the grey commentary booths, enjoying the view and enjoying the sunshine, and trust me, I'm enjoying the aircon. But we have a fantastic race lined up for you right now. A rather jumbled grid in places. We have drivers in positions where we, in no disrespect, wouldn't normally have them. But we think that's going to be even more interesting for the championship fight. There goes our Iveco S-Way, being driven very competently around the circuit as well. And those huge bio-LNG tanks on the side of it as well, with the big chrome finish. They look absolutely awesome. There was Some wonderful shots by one of our cameramen, Sean, taken of those the other night in the sunset as we drove around the circuit. And the guys have done a fantastic job this season in giving us all of these wonderful shots. It's been a real joy to be a part of, I must say, as I get sentimental. But it's even better to be here and see them all at work and get involved in it and enjoy all of the fantastic efforts they all put in. And of course, the final product as well, which is these wonderful broadcasts that we hope you all enjoy. And of course, we hope to see you in following seasons, but we're far from the end yet. We've still got 4 races to do this weekend, 2 of them today, and then of course 2 more tomorrow. And even before those, we have another qualifying session and another Super Pole session. So plenty of action still to come in the last 2 days of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. There we see Stefan Faas alongside Andre Kurzim. They're on row 6 with Theo Calvé and Shane Brayton on row 7. And there's a real insight as to how tall the usual road trucks can be compared to our racing trucks. Now, our racing trucks are still massive machines, 5.3 tonnes minimum weight, 3.1 tonnes of that is weighed over the front axle. They're still huge machines, but nowhere near the size of their usual road counterparts, as you see there with our big, beefy Iveco. Now they're just coming through what is turn 12, the right-hand kink, and then they use the shortened version of the end of the lap here, which is turn 13 and 14 still, but just in a much shorter distance. This is to make sure that the trucks are at least slowed down in plenty of time, and if anybody does have any issues and goes straight on, they find it very unlikely that they will strike any barriers or anything in particular. There's a lot of runoff area there, whether it be grass or just more of the circuit. But we're into the last couple of corners now, and we're about to get things underway. This is going to be the 21st race of the season. We're here for rounds 21, 22, 23 and 24. There's a very conveniently placed banner there saying that all of our trucks are powered by 100% renewable HVO diesel. But down the straight they go. And in the penultimate day of the 2021 FIA European Championship, we are underway. And it's Norbert Kish and Sascha Lenz side by side down the straight. And Sascha Lenz gets a fantastic start. Tries to take it around the outside of Norbert Kish. Doesn't look like he's quite done it there. Norby hangs it down the inside. But Sascha has the inside for the second part of the chicane and takes the lead. Very vital moment there for Sascha Lenz. René Reiner side by side a little bit further back. I think that may be Lucas Hahn going with him. Jamie Anderson's gone slowly. Jochen Hahn now challenging Norbert Kish as they go towards turn 4. But Sascha Lenz leads the way in the SL Truck Sport MAN. Fantastic start from him. Kept the commitment. Hung it around the outside. Epic, epic stuff. Adam Lachko is up to 6th position at the expense of René Reiner. Janiek into 8th place ahead of Lucas Hahn. Stefan Faas still in 10th. René Reiner looking down the inside of Adam Lachko as they came down towards turn 8 there. Antonio Alberthetti in 4th place. Then it's Steffi Howell, Anthony Janiek getting hung out to dry. There's dust and all sorts being kicked up. As they make their way back up the hill. René Reiner one way, then the other. Adam Lachko having to defend early on here. He may have made a place up, but he's certainly having to work hard to keep it there now. Back down towards the back straight they come. Absolutely flying down here. Of course, these trucks governed to 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers an hour. They do that via a GPS system. 1,200 horsepower and 5,000 newton meters of torque, at least, get these trucks up to those speeds very quickly. So Sascha Lenz having to work hard right now to keep Norbert Kish at bay in these final corners. It's very difficult to overtake here, as I've been told. You have to be very, very brave on the brake. And we know that Norbert is exactly that. Through turn 16 they go, onto the straight to complete the first of 12 laps in this first race of the day. Norbert Kish looks to the right-hand side of Sascha Lenz, makes sure that he doesn't get any of that hot air from the back of the truck in front. They don't want to stay in the slipstream either because they might go over their usual speed limit, but look at this now. Norbert clinging to the back of the fellow MAN driver. Keeps his truck looking down the inside. He's going for it early on here, is Norbert. He knows that he can't sit around and wait for this to come to him. But he's in a position to win the championship right now. All he has to do is finish second or first. So I have to keep an eye on it. Oh, René Reiner's gone straight on at turn 4. I'm not sure if he got any help for that. He's certainly gone very, very deep into there. He's got Lucas Hahn trying to have a look. Then Stefan Faas just behind Stefan. We've then got Theo Calve, who has made it up to 11th position already. Brereton is right behind him in 12th place, but look at this now. Kish goes for the lead down the inside of Sasha Lenz, lights it up on the exit. Sasha clips one of the penalty markers on the right-hand side. Is he going to be able to defend it and stay down the inside? Looks to me like he has. Fantastic battling between our two main title protagonists, and Sasha's still on the inside, but can Norbert carry the pace around the outside? He's been good at that this season. Looks to me like Norby is just slightly in front, although I think Sasha's going to have the inside line and keep this here. Yes, he does. Does Norbert hang it around the outside? No. No, he doesn't want to try and fight that battle there. He's going to be on the outside here, though. Great fighting. He's making Sasha work very hard to try and keep this championship wide open. Jochen Hahn and Antonio Alberthetti queuing up behind, ready to take advantage of any little mistakes. Then it's Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko. Quite fittingly, it's trucks 44, 55, 66 and 77 altogether. It's just a shame they're not in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, isn't it? But there is the top 3, covered by just a little bit more than a cigarette paper. Hungarian flags being waved in the stands for Norbert Kish. He's got a lot of fans here this weekend. There was a number of them, I should say, around his awning and around the team truck earlier, all supporting their homeland hero. Sasha Lenz seems to have a really strong first sector about him there. He's broken away a little bit, and now Jochen Hahn is attacking Norbert. You can see a lot of steam coming off Kish's truck as he tries to cool the brakes down, not work them as hard. In my little technical chat with Stefan Faas yesterday, he told me that the brakes can get up to about 450 degrees Celsius before they really need to start thinking about cooling them down some more. And now there is a humongous amount of smoke coming from René Reiner's truck. I believe that's bodywork. It's flicked up on the left. I think I can smell it actually already. That's one of the things you don't get when you commentate remotely, is the smell as well, even when the commentary box is sealed as it is. I can smell burning rubber from all around the circuit. Ah, there's bits of bodywork there on the road that Jochen Hahn and Antonio Alberthetti just hit. So maybe that was where the original contact was. And yeah, there is a lot of smoke around the first sector and the back straight. René Reiner has had all sorts of issues this season with contact and people just driving into him. He's been bashed about all over the place, bless him. But our top 3 at the moment staying as they are. Sasha Lenz kicking the back end out as he comes through turn 14 towards 15, and then here's the left kink at 16. And then hard on the power down the straight once again. The black and white driving standards flag going out there. Can't quite see who that is for, but I'm sure we will find out eventually. As soon as I know anything, I will let you know. But it's Lenz from Kish, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Alberthetti, Steffi Halm, 5th place at the moment, ahead of Adam Lachko, Anthony Janiek, René Reiner, Stefan Faas, Theo Calve. Then it's Shane Brereton, just ahead of Jamie Anderson, who, after going slowly early on, has recovered now. Alia Kolok is up to 13th place. Lucas Hahn has dropped down into 14th position, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Lucas there. And then Andre Kurzim has gone a lap down as well. He hasn't completed the final sector, so maybe something going wrong with Lucas and Andre there, because the two of them were running sort of close together in the field. This is René Reiner's very smoky truck right now, making its way around with Stefan Faas all over the back of him. Stefan goes to look down the inside. Does he commit to it? Not quite. He's just clinging to the back of the MAN in front of him. Stefan Faas's Tank Pool 24 machine is the only Scania in the field this season. A very popular brand, of course, in the world of logistics normally and road trucking. Norbert Kish just having a little look at Sascha Lenz there, but nothing doing this time round. The field spreading out a little bit outside of that. That's why we continue to look at René Reiner and the rest of these guys. Now there is a humongous bit of debris actually on the right-hand side of the road just up there, and there's not a lot left of the front of Teo Calve's truck, so I feel that there may have been contact between Calve and Kurzim as the two of them made their way through the field. Because Teo's done a great job to gain these places early on. However, it looks like he's done that with the use of the front end of his truck, unfortunately. But René still having issues with tyre smoke at the back of that truck, and obviously the mudguard, or the piece of bodywork at least, has completely come off, so not quite sure what is still causing that smoke. It just seems like the entire tyre is just burning up. Not sure if he's got a brake that's caught fire or something like that. If there's friction on one of the brakes, maybe that's just heating up and has caught fire, but I can only speculate at this point. I had a look as he just came past through the window and I couldn't see anything in particular. There's a yellow flag down there at one of the early marshal's posts. Potentially that could be where Andre Kurzim has gone. And now Jamie Anderson has dropped down behind Lucas Hahn as well. Jamie Anderson has dropped off, and before we know it, Norbert Kish has got the lead of the race. Just looking over at my timing screen for a second there, and Norbert Kish has got this job done now. So he's back at the very top end of the field. Sascha Lenz doesn't want to let him get away with it. So apologies for missing that, but Olby's doing everything he needs. He would love to wrap it up with a win. I mean, he could wrap it up with second place, but you and I both know how important it would be for him to win the race in which he clinches the championship title. But look at the bodywork all over the road there. We will try and piece together what has happened between these guys. Kurzim had issues with the front axle apparently, and Anderson has parked up, so the yellow flag was for Jamie Anderson. So a real shame to lose a couple of drivers early on in the race. Lucas Hahn now back up to 12th place. He's overtaken Elia Kolok. And Norbert Kish is currently under investigation. Because he potentially could have overtaken in the yellow flag zone. So we'll have to see if anything comes of that. But Norbert crossing the line to start another lap. This is the 6th lap of the race. Ahead of Sascha Lenz, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albertetti and Steffi Halm. The Revache Racing truck looking very, very planted. Although I say that, and it often moves quite a lot. The front really does dig in. We do see a lot of movement as he leans on the front corners of that truck. The whole cab really does roll around a lot more. You've got to wonder whether that's part of the setup that helps him beat these other teams. As they come back towards us again, down at turn 8. And back up the hill once again. You can see the back end just trying to break away that tiny bit as they get on the power. As I mentioned, they're putting 1200 horsepower through those rear wheels, and these tyres are very, very thick tyres, so they have a very spongy nature about them. Back down the back straight again. But Norbert looking a bit more comfortable now. He's out front again. This is sort of his natural habitat for this season. He's been fantastic at leading by example at the front of these fields. You can see him using all of the road here, really pushing hard. He was a little bit wide through turn 13 though. He had to get it properly tucked in turn 14. He seems to have kept the gap back to Sascha Lenz. Across the start-finish line we go once again then. Jochen Hahn under a little bit of pressure from Antonio Albacete for a lap or two there, but seems to have dissipated the gap a little bit now. Teo Calve still inside the top 10 after starting 13th. Jamie Anderson, as mentioned, has pulled over now and parked up in the first sector. So it was a yellow flag for a couple of seconds. Sorry, a couple of seconds, I should say, a couple of laps, sorry. I think we caught a glimpse of it there. And yeah, Norbert Kish has been given a 5-second penalty for overtaking under yellow flags. So that changes things now. Now, will that still give him second place? Because 5 seconds would put him behind Antonio Albacete. And that would mean that he does not take the championship title in this race. So Norbert needs to just try and open that gap up between himself and Jochen Hahn and make sure that Jochen is some 5 seconds or more behind him at the end. So it won't be the easiest circumstances to understand for everybody watching, but we will do our best to explain that when Norbert Kish crosses a line, 5 seconds will be basically added on to his time. So as long as he can open a gap up now to Jochen Hahn in the white and blue Iveco in 3rd place, then he will still clinch the championship. He will be first across the line if it stays the way it is, of course, but he might not get the win unless he's 5 seconds ahead of Sascha Lenz. We're on lap 7 of this race. The timer, or the counter in the top left, is how many laps we've completed. So we now complete lap 7 and start lap 8. Kish still leads the gap back to Sascha Lenz. Half a second, or 7/10 of a second now, actually. Opens it up slightly on that previous lap. Barely a difference though between the two on that last lap. 203.146 for Norbert Kish, 203.181 for Sascha Lenz. Kish already a double champion in the FIA ETRC, winning championships in 2014 and then the incredible dominance of 2015. He's had similar this season as well. He'll want to wrap it up this time round in the same sort of fashion. Nearly 9/10 now to Sascha Lenz, 2.8 seconds back to Jochen Hahn. 3.5 seconds back to Antonio Albacete, so still Kish would be classified 4th if this race finishes how it is. Up to turns 9 and 10 they go. There's the usual situation of a couple of duos or duets breaking out in the field at the moment. Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko fighting together. Just ahead of that we have Albacete chasing down Jochen Hahn, and then of course Sascha Lenz chasing down Norbert Kish. But Lachko and Halm only separated by 7/10 of a second last time they broke any of the timing beams. But Norbert would have had the message now, and he will be pushing hard to open up that advantage. But I think that he knows that he can just be careful here. As he said to Christina, he's got 4 match points, as he called it in his tennis reference. So in all 4 races over the weekend, he could take the championship title. His fans honking the horns, waving the flags. They're supporting their man as he crosses the line again. Powers his way past the commentary box here at the end of the straight. And Steffi Halm, I can tell you, has just had to defend from Adam Lachko. Adam was looking around the outside and Steffi had to close the line off. Calve now up into 9th position, by the way. Stefan Faas has come into the pits. So Stefan has had an issue somewhere along the line. He's had a drive-through penalty. So the 55 truck of Adam Lachko and Ali Kodlock have 2 warnings for track limits, and they'll go through after 1 more. Stefan Faas has already, unfortunately, felt the wrath of such a penalty. And he's just gone past my commentary box and left the pit lane once again. So the gap now to Jochen Hahn, 3.4 seconds, and it's 4.3 to Antonio Alberthetti. So as long as Norbert can keep opening up this gap, we could be about to crown a champion, but it's all theoretical. As off in the background, Antonio Alberthetti's off and he's in the wall. Antonio ran very deep on the exit of turn 10 and suddenly ends up in the tyre barriers. So that certainly means that he is out of this one. This truck certainly dug in and it's off in the gravel. It looked like he was just running a little bit wide and the truck was maybe going to collect itself and come back on, but no, it just kept skating off wide. Not quite sure what could have caused that. It looks like he's actually managed to reverse it out of the barriers, though. Got a pretty big hit into the wall there for Antonio Alberthetti. These trucks are very sturdy indeed. There is the damage. You can see bits of other trucks littering the gravel at least. And Jamie Anderson's still having his steering issue as well, by the way. That's why Jamie retired. But hopefully Antonio can carry on. He was going slow there. But yeah, look, he was on the gravel, but from an initial glance, I thought he was at least going to be able to get it back onto the road. And it was turning enough, but then the back end just clips the barrier and digs in. And suddenly it's all stopped. It's a real shame for Antonio, but it's good that we can carry on the race and he isn't stuck there. So there is no red flag or any issues like that, which is good. So usually whenever any of these trucks go off the road, you know, they do take some recovering or they do get properly stuck or they damage a barrier. So it's great to see that that isn't the case here. Very close racing from Teo Calvé and Shane Brereton. Shane has 228 points in the Goodyear Cup. Teo Calvé has 194. So Teo's got some hard work to do to chase him down. Shane could very happily sit behind Teo and finish where he is now. But look at this. No, he says, I'm not doing any of that, Chaz. I'm going to chuck it up the inside. Throws the bright purple Apollo tyres branded machine up there. Teo moves over and says, not on your life. Get out of it. Chucks it over to the left. There's bodywork flapping around. There's tyre smoke all over the place. The two of them clinging together around turn 10. Teo just about staying in front with what's left of that poor Freightliner. It's really been put through its paces here. And suddenly coming back into the picture is Lucas Hahn. He tries to have a go at Shane Brereton, but he thinks, nah, I'm going to leave these boys to fight their fight. But that poor Goodyear Racing Freightliner has been through the walls in this race. And Shane is looking to put it through it even more. So Norbert Kish leads the race. And as he crosses the line, vitally, and I mean vitally beyond importance, Jochen Hahn is 5.4 seconds behind. So Norbert Kish, if he holds that gap now, and if Jochen can't do anything to catch back up, he will still win. Well, he won't win, sorry. He'll finish second and he'll win the championship. And with 3 races left to go, that'll be one hell of a feat. He's got 10 race wins this season. Nobody else has even got more than 3. Andre Kurzim has 3 to his name. He's the second most winningest driver this year. Sasha Lenz and Jochen Hahn have 2 apiece, and then 1 each for Adam Lachko and Teo Calvé. That's outright wins. Teo and Shane obviously sharing a multitude of victories in the Goodyear Cup. And Teo opening up that gap a little bit now. So you can see the bodywork there flapping around. The damage on the front was from earlier contact in the race, but it's the left-hand side and the left rear that took a battering in that moment there. Now Shane's truck has quite a lot of smoke coming out of it, but you don't need me to tell you that. That's getting worse and worse for Shane. I'm not sure if something's worked its way loose, but he had a nightmare of a race at Harama after crashing into the tyres during practice after something broke when one of the curbs really upset the truck. but he's only got one more lap to do after this. This is the 11th lap of the race. We're about to come on to lap 12, the final lap. Can Shane make it to the end, or is there a risk in damaging the truck further? Norbert Kish crosses the line then. Sasha Lenz in second. Third place is Jochen Hahn, 7 seconds back now, so Kish has got a good buffer here. And he could potentially do the job. But you've got to wonder whether Shane Brereton will carry on, or whether he will come into the pits. Rennie Reiner, Teo Calve, they're both about to cross the line now. Shane has continued. The smoke not quite as bad as he goes past me. But there is the man at the very front of the pack, Norbert Kish. He's got clear of Sasha Lenz right now. The gap about 1.5 seconds as they cross the line. 7.8 seconds now to Jochen Hahn. And well, what can you say about Norby? He is so determined, so fast, so impressive. Stefan Faas has been through the pit lane again. Another drive-through for track limits for Stefan Faas in that Scania. It must be wider than the other trucks. But with only a couple of corners to go, Norbert Kish has one hand on the trophy already, and he's about to get his second hand on it in just a moment. It's been an incredible season for him. We still have 3 races to go. But with a so far accumulated points of 228, Norby is about to complete the job so he can take the gloves off for the rest of the weekend and really enjoy himself. Through turn 15 he goes. He's only got one more corner to go. Onto the brakes, chucks it in, uses all of the road, and even with a 5-second penalty, Kish will be classified second. He wins on the road, but he is the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Champion. Sasha Lenz wins the race overall after the penalty is applied. Jochen Hahn will take the podium. But the checkered flag is out and Norbert Kish is champion. Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko together as they cross the line. Great racing between those pair. Anthony Janiak in a bit of no man's land will finish in 6th place for Truck 66. Next up will be, or potentially even Teo Calve, but Rene Reiner should be next across the line. It is Rene. Teo sounds the horn, finishes ahead of Shane Brereton, importantly. But there is your champion. Norbert Kish gets it done in the first race of the weekend. What a fantastic start to his weekend. Doesn't get much better than that. A race win on the road at least, but even second place gets him enough points to wrap up the title, and it means that nobody, and I mean nobody, could mathematically catch him right now. You can see the streaks of water following him along on the road as obviously he tries to put some water onto the brakes at least to cool them down at the very end. But what an amazing achievement for Norbert Kish. His 3rd title. He's finally got the hat-trick that he so very much deserves. His pace this season has been untouchable. And he's managed to get the job done with 3 races left. You can see tyre barriers knocked down, debris at the side of the road, and your champion in the middle of your shot. But this is truck racing. It's always entertaining. And that race certainly proved it. But number 41 is now number 1. And I can't wait to see Norby's reaction in a few minutes when I'm sure Christina will be ready to go and chat to him. But he'll have to wait until tomorrow, I believe, to fully get his hands on the trophy physically. They have the awards dinner tomorrow evening. So he's at least got to complete the other 3 races before that. He can't just take the trophy and fly home now. He's got to come back for the other races. We've got another race today, don't forget. And here's the drifting that we so often see from Norby. Very much in control of that truck, very talented driver. And into the pits he will go, where I'm sure he'll be greeted by an absolute army of fans and congratulatory competitors. Makes his way past the official truck and the pace truck. And then we'll slow it down right in front of our cameras. And you can hear the round of applause starting already. Sounds the horn. A very happy Norbert Kish. I could hear that just as loud as it came through the broadcast as it came through in the pit lane here in person. There goes Steffi Halm. There's second place Sasha Lenz, although, well, race winner Sasha Lenz, I should say, with the penalty applied. Norby will still be classified second, which will give him 15 championship points. That's off the top of my head anyway. There you can see everybody lined up to congratulate him. We'll get the raw reaction from Norbert Kish in just a moment. And I can confirm it is 15 points for second place. He needed 14, so that is more than enough. There are the fans on the rooftops. Flags are plenty. Hungarian flags there as well at his truck and his awning. And that will be the three colours that you see very often this weekend. Of course, the Italian flag, the same three colours, just at a different angle. But the Hungarian flag will be waving for a long time to come in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's not quite time for him to crack open the champagne yet. They'll have to at least wait until the day is done, wait until the second race. But there you see everybody giving their drivers a round of applause. Part of the fantastic community here in the series. It's like, what? Behind door number one, it's a Norbert Kish. But there you go. He has done it. On the first race of the weekend as well, the perfect scenario really. Didn't quite take the win, of course, with that penalty, but either way, I'm sure he won't mind too much right now. That's Sasha Lenz's third win of the season, and Norbert Kish's 13th podium out of 21 races. Incredible. Jochen Hahn takes his 6th podium finish of the season, and a big congratulations from Sasha Lenz, and a big hug for Norby, and a very well done. Even part of the other teams as well congratulating him. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hugs and handshakes for Norbert Kish over the next 24 hours at least. But it's job done for Revace Racing and the Hungarian driver. And you can really see the emotion as well. It certainly does mean a lot. Congratulating members of other teams still. But that really does highlight the fantastic group of people that we have here. You know, everybody will help each other out if there's any damage to any trucks or any repairs that need doing. You know, everyone always does pool together and work so well as the one truck family, as it is. It's not just a hashtag, it really is a true meaning in this community and in this championship. There's Jochen Hahn as well, very happy with his podium. And it's just hugs all round. I'm sat here with a humongous smile on my face because I know how much it means to all of these drivers, team members, everyone involved. Jochen gives his congrats to Norbert Kish. Same too as well from Anthony Janiek. And the word travels fast that Norbert Kish is champion. And let's go and hear from him with Christina then. Let's get his reactions after he takes the title.
Congratulations, Norbert Kisch, this year's FIA European Truck Racing Champion. Congratulations. Lots of emotions, of course. Other drivers giving their congrats and their respect to you. What are your first impressions right now, competing and winning this championship?
Yeah, it's a little bit less words, but yeah, it's great. You know, it's we waited a couple of years, but yeah, it's just, you know, for the team. If it wasn't for, you know, Reves Racing and our owner, Mr. Balint Reves, who picked us up, trusted us, you know, and said that we can do it, you know, and even through the virus, you know, he didn't say we stop. He said we go, and we go and try to win it. And yeah, I'm really happy that we could do it, and with such a nice performance, you know, already last year. And the team was just starting, you know, and I don't think there ever was a team that, you know, so soon could be so quick. So yeah, I'm really proud of the team, and the last 2 years, I think what we achieved is outstanding. So yeah, I'm really proud and really thankful for the team, because, you know, without them this would not be possible. So yeah, I'm really happy that we have the team championship as well, and the overall, you know, for the drivers champions as well. It's I'm just so happy, and you know, it's hard to say. It's a little bit hard to believe that we are here again, but yeah, I'm really happy.
You are here, congratulations. Right now you will step on the podium second because you've got a 5-second penalty, of course. Maybe we'll have a look at the pictures later. But of course you wanted to compete and you wanted it not to leave any space between you and Sascha Lenz in the race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, the start was bad, and especially the second turn was bad. When I tried to turn to the left, I just couldn't make the turn, and I couldn't stay on the outside of Sascha. But yeah, after that, he made a couple of mistakes, which I could overtake him. But yeah, I didn't see the yellow flags. I see the truck was there on the outside, I think probably for a couple of laps already. I don't know. But at that moment, I didn't see the yellow flags. So I just went for it. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter, it's okay.
It's just for this race, because you are overall champion. Congratulations, enjoy the moment. Norbert Kisch.
Congrats to Sascha, because he really did a good job. He's really fast, and he really made my job hard, you know, already in the previous races. And now especially he was really fast. So yeah, it's a good win for him. I think he deserves it.
Thank you very much. Norbert Kisch, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, I think even I was welling up a little bit there for Norbert Kisch. Wow, that really brought a tear to my eye as well. You could see the outpour of emotion. And, you know, these drivers put so much into a championship. And as Norbert mentioned there, you know, he joined this team, and the team picked him up as a driver. And they have got a wonderful result from it with the hard work they've put in over the last few years. So there we go, as it's confirmed. Sascha Lenz takes the race win. That's his 3rd win of the season and his 10th appearance on the podium. Norbert Kisch is champion of 2021 with 2nd place. Jochen Hahn finishes in 3rd, with Steffi Halm finishing in 4th place ahead of Adam Lachko. In the end, we did have 44, 55, 66 and 77. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Anthony Janiak finishing 6th ahead of René Reiner, with Theo Calve 8th, just ahead of his Goodyear Cup title rival Shane Brayton. Lucas Hahn scores a top 10 finish. A fantastic result for the young German this season. Elia Kolok just outside of the top 10 with 11th, and it was survival of the fittest just behind, with Stefan Fass, Antonio Albertetti, Jamie Anderson and Andre Kurzim all having their own issues over the course of the race. The latter two, unfortunately, not making it to the end. But let's not forget, we have another race coming up later on this afternoon, so the action here today is still not complete. And I look forward to joining all of you again later on when we can get round 22 of this 24 race season back underway. But the Hungarian flag flies high here at Misano. Kisch is champion, and we look forward to seeing when the gloves are off a little bit later on. But I believe it's time to go back down to Christina for final words in just a moment. So I, Chaz Draycott, will leave it with you, and I will see you again soon.
Allora cominciamo con il podio, classifica assoluta, overall class. Overall charts of the race, cominciamo chiamando al terzo posto con un grande applauso, 6 volte campione d'Europa, al volante del suo Iveco, Jochen Hanna! La leggenda dei track, 6 volte campione d'Europa, il tedesco di Altensteiger guadagna il tempo.
So here we go with the podium presentation. Apologies, everybody. I got ahead of myself a little bit there, as you do. As I figured the champion was crowned, for some reason, part of my brain thought, oh, that's it. But we have Jochen Hahn on the podium, his 6th podium of the season. Norbert Kish with his 13th, but Sascha Lenz taking his 3rd win and his 10th podium appearance of the championship. After a very hard-fought season with Norbert Kish, he'll be happy to at least take 1 win away from this weekend. And he certainly worked hard for it. And we'll have the national anthem in just a second, I believe. The German national anthem, of course, for Sascha Lenz. And then the drivers will receive their trophies.
Dimostrarli il terzo posto solleva il trofeo Jochen Hanna. Secondo posto mostra il trofeo l'argento Norbert Kish. E il trofeo della vittoria.
Norbert Kish, 2nd place. He's very happy with that because that's all he needed for the title. And Sascha Lenz makes it a hat-trick of wins this year. So there you go then, your overall podium for round 21 of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And they all now pose for pictures.
Take the picture all together, really close, please. Okay, that's the first pictures for the podium. And now the second one with your own cap, if you want just...
And then they will change their caps. They take the Goodyear caps off and they change to their own branded caps.
Okay.
And Jochen gives his Goodyear cap away to somebody in the pit lane at least.
If you're ready, we can say there's a part of the podium. Champagne! You can drink have fun on the podium with the champagne.
Happy to give the guys some champagne. Oh, lovely stuff by Jochen Hahn. He knows how to crack a bottle open, doesn't he? But there's your champion, everybody, Norbert Kish. Very well deserved. And they all say cheers to one another. They don't want to soak it. Oh, okay. Well, There you go. I was going to say they don't normally soak each other at this bit. They've got another race later, but he can hang the overalls out in the sun. And it's a big well done to Norbert Kish. And arguably two of his very biggest rivals. All we're missing on the podium really is Adam Lachko right now. But great fun all the same from Sascha Lenz, Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish.
Place the trophies on the podium for the drivers, and we are waiting to call the first three of the Goodyear Cup.
Next up we will have the Goodyear Cup, as you hear there. This will go for third, second and first, of course. Third place will be a driver that really did a fantastic job today. He was fourth in the original qualifying session, ended up eighth in Superpole and managed to hold on to a top 10 position overall in the race, taking a Goodyear Cup podium. And it will be the young star that is Lucas Hahn. A very well-deserved podium for Lucas. He shows fantastic potential, even if he can't step up onto a podium properly. He shows some great potential, does Lucas. Second place to Shane Brereton. Another podium for Shane in the Goodyear Cup. And Teo Calve just pipping him to the end after a fantastic fight in that race. They really had a great battle out there. Some contact up the hill and very enjoyable racing from those two.
You can just pick up your trophies, please. Okay.
Lucas Hahn waves the trophy up high. So too does Teo and Shane. But Teo takes another Goodyear Cup win. He's French truck racing champion this year. And with being French champion, of course, we get to hear the French national anthem for another win for Teo Calve. He's been an absolute superstar this season. Currently 8th overall in the championship. Doing an amazing job. And now the guys pose for pictures.
Left side, please. Okay.
They take orders very well, don't they?
We are ready just for changing your cap, and you can just.
And now they change the caps to their own branded hats, and then champagne. Oh well, you can drink the champagne, he says, but they'd rather spray it all over everybody in the pit lane. Lucas Hahn, much like his dad, certainly knows how to use a bottle of champagne, doesn't he? Fantastic. It's always a great bit of camaraderie in the spraying of the champagne. It's one of my favourite things in motorsport, I must admit. It's a bit of a daft thing to enjoy, but it's so entertaining. But there you go. There is your Goodyear Cup podium. And a very entertaining spectacle. But what we're going to do now is have a quick look back at some of the best moments of Norbert Kish this year, our very deserving champion. And we've put together a video for you to show you some of his very best moments this year. So there you go then, a look back at some of Norbert Kisch's best moments this season on his way to take the overall championship. And there is the confirmation. Kisch with 243 points can no longer be caught mathematically by any other drivers. Sascha Lenz finishes on 2:02, but of course, that's just for this race. There's 3 more races to go. Adam Lachko in third with 187 points, looks slightly safe ahead of Antonio Albacete, but him and Jochen Hahn will certainly fight hard to the end. Steffi Halm and Andre Kurzim were actually tied on points going into this one. Andre, unfortunately, being right at the back and even not finishing, actually losing points there. Steffi getting 10. Theo Calve still ahead of Shane Brereton overall, with Anthony Janiak rounding out your top 10. It's been a fantastic day to be Norbert Kisch taking the championship, and we will go down to Christina for some final words. I've been Chaz Draycott, and I will catch you all again later on. Thank you very much.
Chaz, you and your final words. We got an interview going on with Sascha Lenz. Congratulations, du hast das Rennen gewonnen, das erste Rennen an diesem Wochenende. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Und es gab ja ein ordentliches Battle zwischen dir und Norbert Kisch. There's been quite a battle between Sascha Lenz and Norbert Kisch. And even Norbert Kisch received a 5 seconds penalty. Also Norbi hat dann auch noch 5 Sekunden eine Strafe bekommen. Was war das für ein Rennen?
Ja, wir hatten einen richtig guten Start gehabt. Ich bin direkt, hatte eine halbe Wagenlänge vor dem Nobby in der Rechtskurve dann. Dann sind wir nebeneinander die nächsten 3 Kurven gefahren. Einen besseren Ausgang hatte ich dann gehabt. Ja, Nobby, ihr habt dann 2, 3 Fehler gemacht. Ich konnte nie eine große Lücke reinfahren zum Nobby und dann kam eine Situation unter Gelb. Ihr habt die Gefahr nicht gesehen. Ihr habt ein bisschen langsamer gemacht. Klar, war ja auch Gelb auf der Strecke. Und er hat es dann ausgenutzt, ist neben mich gefahren und hatte dann in der Rechtskurve den entscheidenden Vorteil gehabt. Ja, trotz allem Glückwunsch an Nobby. Wir haben einen guten Job gemacht, das ganze Jahr über. Er ist Europameister und hat zu Recht auch.
Okay, let's give a quick resume. So he said he had a good start, but then after turn 3, I think it said they were side-by-side racing. It was very, very close. And he said he did some little mistakes, as he mentioned. But then, you know, there was a turn with the yellow flag, and he was just pacing down because he thought, yes, there might be some danger. Norbert Kisch told us that he didn't see the yellow flag. Also Norbi hat uns auch gesagt, dass er die gar nicht mitbekommen hatte. And then afterwards, so that was the advantage for Norbert Kisch. But it was a tough race, and he said, congratulations to Norbert Kisch, fine champion, fine lad. Congratulations to Norbert Kisch. Dieses Rennwochenende hält ja noch einiges bereit, gerade für dich. Es geht noch um den Fight mit Adam Lachko. So this race season is not yet over. It has been race 1 and he's still in a battle with Adam Lachko for a rank 2 in this championship. Jetzt hast du einen kleinen Vorteil. Wie gehst du in das Rennen 2 nachher? He's got a little advantage right now. How will he proceed to race 2?
Ja, prinzipiell, wir sind hier, um Rennen zu fahren und du willst natürlich auch jedes Rennen gewinnen. Und ich werde mich versuchen, aus allem rauszuhalten, aber trotzdem weiter nach vorne zu kommen, um weiterhin Punkte zu holen. Und dann werden wir nachher sehen, am zweiten Rennen, wo die Reise hingeführt hat.
Vielen Dank. Herzlichen Glückwunsch erstmal. So he's going to try to achieve, of course, point after point. This is what it's all about in this race weekend. He's trying to give in his best, of course. And so we've got our European Championship set, clear. It's a wrap for Norbert Kisch, but also there are lots of other competitors. Of course, for example, Theo Calve, the winner of first race this weekend here at Misano, Goodyear Cup. So yes, that's been a ride. Well, you started very, very low, I said, aside to Shane Brereton. I saw his front shield was cracked completely, but you took the lead.
Yeah, so I start from the 13th position, so it's very far. I'm not really used to start from this position. It's the first time for me in Misano, and it's quite a difficult track for our trucks. We are struggling a lot, but during the race I didn't give up and I came back. I finished at the 8th position, so I started on the pole position for the next race, and I won the Goodyear Cup. And yeah, I don't know what happened to Shane. I think it's at the start. There was a lot of crash at the start. But honestly, it was a good race. I had a good fight. I'm really happy.
Yeah, you're smiling a lot. Sounds good. And I think it's 29 points that you need to compete with Shane Brereton. He's 29 points ahead. Any chances for you?
Yeah, everything is possible. We'll see on the race 4, at the end of the race 4.
Of course we do. Thank you very much. Celebrate this first victory of this first race here in Misano. So already lots of action took place. Of course, lots of congratulations to our FIA European Truck Racing champion. This is Norbert Kisch. We saw him very emotional. And of course, yes, we all are, because huge thanks to all the team right now. I will not make it a wrap right now, as Chas was already doing, so because we got lots of races going ahead. But let's have a quick resume, because due to pandemic, the situation was not easy, not for the teams, not for the drivers. Last year's season cancelled, and this year we could have a champion. We are so grateful that we can all be back here. So we'll see us then. Ahead of race 2, we heard Theo Cave starting from pole position there. They've got the reverse grid, of course. Lots of action right now going on here at Misano. So please, will you be back there with us? I hope you are.